Hi, my name is Rachel Laird, and I am a medical illustrator here in Richmond. And I got started in art at a pretty early age. I always loved to draw, but I was fortunate enough to grow up in a town that had a visual and performing arts high school that I was once again fortunate enough to attend. And there, taking drawing classes and painting classes, I figured out that art was something I wanted to take a little bit more seriously than just a hobby. So after 4 years there and graduating, I knew when I got to college that I wanted to major in art in some way or another. So I went to the University of Georgia, where I got my BFA in scientific illustration. It is a field that blends natural sciences and art together to communicate these topics about our world and science to a variety of audiences. I got my Master's of Science in Medical Illustration after that, which focused more on health topics. So I studied how to communicate things about cellular biology and surgical procedures to a variety of audiences, whether it be doctors learning the newest and greatest in the medical field, or medical students building their foundation, or just the public about public health content. So after I graduated there, I am now a medical illustrator at a company called MediVisuals, where we make illustrations and trial presentation images to communicate with a jury about medical topics like surgeries or injuries. So my creative process now in that looks a lot like talking to attorneys and their clients who were patients and learning about what happened to them, whether it be an injury or a surgery, and figuring out how to tell an audience of a jury about those things. So for example, if somebody had a knee replacement, I will talk to the attorney and their client about that procedure, and then I'll watch a lot of surgery videos of how a knee gets replaced, and then I will do a lot of research on that anatomy, all the components involved, and then boil it down to the most important steps in a procedure like that. So an incision, where's the incision? What are they pulling apart? What anatomy is affected? What does the replacement look like, and how the procedure goes, and then I will illustrate it from there. And then it's a lot of peer review, so we look at all the other illustrators and I look at one another's work, see if it's explaining what it needs to explain, and then sending it to the client, seeing if they think it's telling the story that it needs to tell. Get the feedback there, figure out if it's all working, and then sending it off and letting them do with it what they will. The programs I use in my work are mostly Photoshop and Adobe InDesign. So anything in the Adobe suite I'm kind of using. For animations, we use a lot of PowerPoint, surprisingly enough, as well as After Effects. Personally, I will use Procreate on the iPad sometimes. It's easy to communicate between my desktop and my iPad, and sometimes it's just quicker to do it on the iPad. The advice that I would give to an aspiring artist is that there is this stereotype or myth about the starving artist, and that if you want to pursue a career in the field of art, that you might be putting yourself in a bad position. But I don't think that has to be the case. When I got to college, I was a painting major, and a bunch of people told me that, like, I would have to pivot and figure something out because it's not a field that would provide me any stability, which I just don't think is true. I think if you take it seriously, people will take you seriously. And just because there's a stereotype out there doesn't mean you have to fall into that category. You'll be able to find your niche, whatever it may be. And if it's being a studio artist, you can make that work. You'll do what you need to do to make it work. And if you're somebody who wanted more stability than maybe being a studio artist could provide, there are a ton of other avenues. Graphic design, medical illustration, like there are avenues for you. And like I said, if you take it seriously, people will take you seriously. And you can do it. Learn your technique. Stay passionate about it. But yeah.